A U.S. district judge in New Mexico is holding a hearing today about the state governor's recent order to suspend the right to carry firearms. Now, here's what's happening. Governor Lujan Grisham declared gun violence a public health emergency. This after 2 children were recently killed in separate shootings. She's trying to ban the right to open carry in public for 30 days. Armed demonstrators and guns rights groups are protesting that move. Our own Lana Zak joins us now from Albuquerque, New Mexico, with the latest on this. Lana, great to see you. We know this is a temporary ban, but still, it's sparking mass criticism from both sides of the aisle. Why is that?
You know, it's interesting, Errol, because it's only 30 days. And so some people might hear that and think, oh, a cooling off period. It shouldn't be inciting this much passion. But it's far more nuanced now that we're out here talking to people about this. I was speaking with Sheriff John Allen just a moment ago. He is the sheriff of Bernalillo County, and he has said publicly that he is not going to enforce this. He thinks that it's unconstitutional. He's also a Democrat, and part of the reason why he told me that he thinks that this isn't going to be effective, and that because it is such an epidemic, there is such a problem with gun violence. On that, he sees eye to eye with the governor. But it distracts his officers and it distracts his office, he says, for something that he doesn't think is going to be effective, because a 30-day pause on people being able to carry guns in New Mexico who lawfully have gun permits, that's, he says, diverting their resources, and they don't have enough of them to now trying to fight against people who don't want to give up their guns, who aren't committing crimes besides being in violation of the governor's order, in favor doing that in rather than focusing on these other violent crimes that they are otherwise hoping to pursue.
And we know that the governor, in explaining this decision, spoke about the children who had been killed by gun violence in a very short amount of time. And she's like, look, I've got to do something. What are those who support this decision saying?
Well, that's a really interesting point, Errol, because some people might hear public health emergency and guns and not think that makes sense. But it is the #1 killer of children here in New Mexico. It kills more children than cancer, and many people that I spoke with here do think that it is an epidemic. A public health emergency would be a fair characterization of it. But the practicality of it is part of what's at issue. The Second Amendment gun rights is part of what's at issue. But I spoke with the Archbishop here in Albuquerque, who felt like it was so important to bring people out of becoming desensitized to this violence, because it is so widespread, that to do something to sort of shake things up, to inspire debate was helpful, even if people disagree about the proper steps to move forward. But in that respect, having a public health declaration could potentially lead to some solutions together. And we'll have to see how this actually plays out. Today, as you mentioned, there's going to be a court evaluation of this. There's no less than 6 lawsuits against the governor's injunction at this point. So we are going to see what happens in court today and continue to talk to people here about what they feel is the best solution to this plague of gun violence that's particularly hit hard Albuquerque.
Yeah, you've got the safety of children on one hand, but also the right, many feel, is a cultural right to open carry their weapons. I wonder if, in our last few seconds, Lana, the point is to have a debate and perhaps have a national effect.
It definitely is being watched nationwide. That's part of the reason why you and I are talking about it. And the debate is unquestionably happening here in New Mexico and in lots of different chambers of Congress. And they're going to be watching what happens in New Mexico as well.
All right. Wonderful update there from our Lana Zak on the ground in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Great to see you. Thank you, Lana.